Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel, and in this video we are going to talk about this case that is about Gypsy Rose and her mother Didi. Let's start with the beginning that Gypsy Rose was born in Louisiana on July 27 in 1991, and he was raised by her mother Claudine, but she was known as Didi. Her parents separated shortly before her birth, and her father Rod remains minimally involved in her childhood. So since Gypsy was born, Didi begins to fabricate illness. Didi was claiming that Gypsy has epilepsy, muscular dystrophy, leukemia, and other conditions. It's important to say that Didi was a nurse, so that's why she knows every symptom and every illness. So she convinced the doctor that Gypsy requires unnecessary medical treatments, including the feeding tube, medications, and even some surgeries. So Gypsy was forced into a wheelchair, even though she can walk. In 2005, the Hurricane Katrina destroys their home that it was in Louisiana, so they need to move on. And Didi claims Gypsy medical records were lost in the disaster, so this allowed her to fabricate Gypsy's age in the medical history, so Gypsy will be younger. They relocate to Springfield, Missouri. So in this community, the people built a house that it was known as the Pink House, but it was free. So in this case, Didi benefits a lot on the Gypsy's illness, so she can have like donation cash or even a trip to Disney. In 2007, a neurologist started to suspect about all this case that Gypsy didn't have any illness, but he can't find any evidence about the muscular dystrophy. So this neurologist started to suspect that Didi has the Munchausen syndrome by proxy, but he didn't report it because he doesn't have the sufficient evidence. So all the life of Gypsy was all forced, that she can walk or that even that she can eat. So these details take to Gypsy to escape, but the first time she escaped Didi's home, she was caught, and in this case Didi punished her by installing spells on the doors, isolates her further by telling others that Gypsy is mentally ill, and chains her to the bed because she doesn't want her to go away. In 2012, Gypsy secretly creates an online dating profile because she wanted to know other people, and in this year she meets Nicholas Joe Jones, but it was in a dating site, and they begin a romantic relationship where Nicholas has a mental illness, including like the autism spectrum, and having a violent fantasies, but Gypsy doesn't know like other stuff, so she was really in love with him. In 2015, Gypsy and Nicholas try to meet each other but in person, and they meet each other like in a theater, but Didi disapproves of this relationship, and she gets mad about all this situation that met him on a online dating. So this situation starts to Gypsy and Nicholas begin to plotting that Didi's murder. so they can be together. This plan takes on June 9, 2015, that Nicholas travels to Missouri because he was from Wisconsin and checks in the motel, and in the night they start all the plan where Gypsy lets him into the house and provides him the knife and the duct tape. While Nicholas stops Didi 70 times, Gypsy was hiding in the bathroom. The couple returns to Nicholas' house, so they mail the murder weapon to Nicholas' house in Wisconsin to avoid light detection. But they make a mistake by posting on her shared Facebook account a message that is say that is dead. So these concerned friends and they call the police immediately, and the police find Didi's body and that Gypsy was missing. So the police initially believes that Gypsy has been abducted. But when the police tracked the Facebook post, they went to Nicholas' home in Wisconsin and they were arrested. At first, Gypsy didn't recognize all the plan, and she was acting like she didn't know anything. But when the police know all the truth, she doesn't have any other way to get out, so she starts to cooperate with the authorities, and she reveals the extent abuse of her mother.
Dead. Okay. Now, what I want to ask you is, your mom's passed away. Okay, and she's deceased. All right. Now, what I want to ask you, did you have involvement in this? Okay.
No.
Hang on. Listen to me for just a second. Okay. I want you to understand something. Okay. Remember the snowball that we talked about? You remember the pencil that we talked about? I'm going to demonstrate something with a pencil here, okay? Look at me. Look at me for just a second, okay? Sometimes people are going along, you know how you got a pencil? You got the lead here and you got the eraser right here, right? You know what I'm talking about? You've seen a pencil, right? You've used a pencil before, right? Okay? And when you write with a pencil, you write your own story, right? Okay? And you take that pencil and you're writing along with your story. Well, sometimes some people make mistakes when they write stuff down, don't they? We've all made mistakes. You've made mistakes. I've made mistakes, right? You ever made a mistake in your life?
Yeah.
And I've made mistakes in my life. And hang on just a second, okay? When you're writing this stuff down, all of a sudden you make a mistake. Well, what do you do with that mistake? You take that pencil and you flip it over and you start erasing stuff, okay? And you erase it and you recorrect it. And you take that pencil and then you rewrite your history, your story, okay? And I kind of think that's where you're at with this tonight, okay? That you have a chance to rewrite your story. And I think that that's what you can do, is you can rewrite your story tonight.
This case is very interesting because in one way you understand her motivations, because he really abused her in all the ways, and she can't even live. So in July 2016, Gypsy pleads guilty to second-degree murder, so she received 10 years prison. But Nicholas was convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison. So this trial, I'm not sure if it was fair, because Nicholas has this mental illness that he really don't understand all this plan, and I think that Gypsy manipulate him a little bit to do this murder. This case, it was really shock to the world, so Hulu released this series that it was The Act, and it's about the life of Gypsy, but Hulu didn't have the consent of her, but they made this series. Also in 2022, Gypsy marries Ryan Scott, in a prison ceremony, but this relationship ends in this year in 2024. And if you see him, he looked like her mother a little bit, so that's a little awkward. Gypsy was released in December 28 in 2023, and she expresses a desire to advocate for abuse survivors and rebuild her life because she really wants to have her life again. And on July 2024 of this year, Gypsy announced that she's pregnant with another man that he was her first love, and they're expecting her first child that is supposed to born in January. And she says that she hopes that she wants to be a better mom than her mother did and provide a loving home to her child. That I agree she can do it, she can be a better mom, but it's a little bit interesting how she can separate all the stuff with her mom. And this is because years of abuse left Gypsy with a trauma, absolutely, and she limited like social skills, and she has like this confusion of her identity. So it's a little bit difficult, but I agree that she can be a better mom. So in actuality, Gypsy wants to hope to use her experience to raise awareness about the abusive relationships, showing that the alternative paths to freedom and healing exist. And she said that she really take the wrong way to escape of her mother's control, but in that moment it was the only way that she can go out.
Listen to me, heed my words, that you are not alone in this, situation. There are other ways out. I did it the wrong way.
No. Don't say that.
I did.
You had no
I
choice,
did
really.
something wrong, and I paid my dues for it.
Oh, you mean that part?
Yes, the part of it.
Oh, yeah.
That part of it. Yeah.
Where are you
Never
going
mind.
with this?
Yeah, no. So I did
Murder is
something.
wrong,
Yeah.
And this is a little resume of this case. I hope you like this, and thank you for watching. Bye.